All right, baseball's trading deadline has come and gone in camp. We expected the Diamondbacks to be active and busy, but I got to admit, Cam, I didn't expect them to trade Zack Greinke. I thought Robbie Ray would be the guy, but Zack Greinke goes to the Houston Astros. Your thoughts?
I like the trade for the D-backs. First of all, I'll say this. Apparently the asking price was too high for Robbie Ray. The Yankees kind of nixed that deal. But I thought that should have been the right deal, because if you're going to trade a guy like Robbie Ray away, you're going to have to ask for the moon, which is what they should have done. The trade with Greinke, though, you had to get that contract off your books. It's very clear that the D-backs did not want to pay that salary any longer. It was handicapping what Mike Hazen has done. He had kind of hinted at that in the past. So my initial reaction, while you hate to see the ace of your staff go, it's clear this team is setting up for the future, and getting Zack Greinke's massive contract off their books allows them plenty of flexibility to do that.
Well, here's the deal. From the Houston Astros, the Diamondbacks get 4 prospects. 3 of them are rated in the top 5
of their
Astros farm system. So,
and the Astros are also picking up a large chunk of that money. Of the $77 million that Greinke still owed, I believe the Diamondbacks on pick up 24 million of it. So that's a steal too as well. So you get prospects, and then also you don't have to pay out a massive part of that contract.
Well, Diamondbacks were also busy because they also pick up a former Sun Devil pitcher, Mike Leake. And I think you have some money information with him.
Yeah, it sounds like reportedly that Mike Leake is owed a substantial amount still left on his deal, but apparently the Diamondbacks are only going to pick up $6 million left of his contract. So Mike Leake, a former Sun Devil, has pitched well this year. You may remember he had one of the better moments in baseball, almost threw a perfect game, came down to the 9th inning, I believe, with 1 out. So it's always good to add another former Sun Devil. It is clear that they're adding pieces to make sure this rotation is built for the future.
But the Diamondbacks weren't through. They traded their top overall prospect in the farm system, shortstop Jazz Chisholm, to the Miami Marlins for Zack Gannon. Gannon, the 5th rated prospect in the Marlins system, and he's already major league ready from a pitching standpoint. So the Diamondbacks get rid of their ace, Zack Greinke, but they add Mike Leake, veteran former Sun Devil, and Zack Gannon, a major league ready pitcher already.
Yeah, Gannon has already had, I believe, 7 starts this year. His ERA is under 3, so he's a guy you can plug in right away. It's clear the D-backs aren't sure exactly how this rotation is going to look moving forward, but they have a bunch of pieces now where they at least got good arms that they believe in that will carry them into the future.
Yeah, and like you said, getting rid of Zack Greinke's contract allows them now to be active in next summer's next offseason free agency.
And I'm going to say this about Greinke. You know, it's great that he's been here, and it's great that the D-backs had it, but what a waste, truthfully. I mean, he never got them to what we all thought that the D-backs would be, a World Series team. Sure, he could win in the regular season, Coop. We saw plenty of that. But when it came down to his performance in the postseason, while it was only 1 year of it, it was a waste of that year, because you wanted Greinke to roll out there and be that lights-out pitcher against the Rockies, against the Dodgers that postseason, and he was not that. And so to me, he never got you over the hump. So time to move on and get that contract off your books.
Me and you totally disagree on this. I love the way the man competes. I mean,
I'm not arguing that. They just never got anything really big from it.
Look. The man redefined how he pitches.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't a power pitcher anymore, so he became that Greg Maddux or that Tom Glavine. Very, very.
But what did he get the D-backs?
Hey, Cam, that's just almost like saying where the Suns get from Devin Booker. One man can only do so much. This man rolls out there once every 5 days, and he did his job once every 5 days, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, look at his ERA. Look at what he's done. So I don't think
there were times in Zack Greinke's career here at the Diamondbacks where he was as trustworthy as a minor league pitcher. Time, sure, he got on these rolls where he was rolling a month at a time, but there were also times that you had no clue what you were going to get from Zack Greinke out there.
The man can only go out there one time every 5 days. You can't look for him to be your savior and get you into the playoffs. It takes a team, and when you get to the playoffs, then you need him to be your ace.
What did he do in the playoffs?
They ran up against the Dodgers team, and they lost 3 straight games.
All right, before you and I keep yelling at each other, our executive producer, Jeff Schneider, has been dying to ask us a question. Go ahead, Jeff.
Right, first of all, I agree with Cam.
You're allowed.
Second, because if you remember that wild card game against the Rockies, they had a huge lead. he could not get out of the fifth inning. It forced them to have to use Patrick Corbin in relief to get to the Dodgers series, and then they had nobody to pitch game one of the Dodgers series, and that changed that whole series around.
Let me tell you something. I've seen Cy Young guys like Clayton Kershaw. I've seen Cy Young guys like Randy Johnson fail in a game. One failure in the playoffs is not defined.
Was it Patrick Corbin or was it Taijuan Walker?
No, it wasn't Taijuan Walker. It was either Corbin or Ray.
First of all, Zack Greinke, hell of a pitcher. And let me say,
I don't think we're arguing
going to the
I just don't think we got what we were hoping for.
But wait a minute. But now the only big contract they still have on their books is Yasmani Tomas, which is, the death knell. They cannot get that off. They now have to get that off the books.
Now that's the way. But here's the deal. You look at what the Houston. Look, I respect the heck out of the Houston Astros. I mean, not only they have Zack Greinke, but they can also roll out Verlander and Garrett Cole. I mean, that is one heck of a pitching staff.
They are set up now for the postseason, and surprise, surprise, the Yankees did absolutely nothing to help their starting rotation. That's a shame.
Yeah.
Why is that a shame?
I'm kidding.
All right, real quick, final thoughts. Trading deadline grade. What you got?
A grade? Well, let me tell you something. I'll give the Astros an A plus. For the Diamondbacks, hey, this is all about next year now. I mean, look, they brought in some arms that can help them this year in Gannon and Leak, but this team is purely one that has its sights set on the future with a lot of money to play with in the offseason.
I'm going to give them an A. They got that contract off their books. They've been trying to do it before. There was talk of it in the offseason. It's clear we have to play for the future now here. It's tough for D-back fans. It's been a rough couple of months. We understand it. Goldie, Greinke, we all thought this team was heading to the World Series 3 years ago, but it is now clear this roster will definitely change. Dyson's old. Will Adam Jones hang around? This roster is going to change here in the offseason. D-backs are definitely playing for the future now.